Talking Trees with Lily and Jad. Welcome to this special recap episode of Talking Trees. This week we explored a variety of topics highlighting the significance of trees and plants in our lives. From the science behind how trees endure harsh winters to the rich history and cultural symbolism of Christmas trees and related traditions, we've covered a lot of ground. We delved into the mythological and religious meanings of trees across different cultures, celebrated the life and contributions of arboriculture pioneer John Davey, and admired the botanical and cultural importance of iconic Christmas plants. Stay tuned as we revisit these captivating discussions.
Welcome back, arborists, to the deep dive.
Yes.
You know, we love to keep you in the loop with talking trees.
Mm-hmm.
And this week was a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We had winter tree care,
Yeah.
some holiday spirit with trees and their cultural significance,
Sure did.
and even a little history of arboriculture.
Always fun.
So let's get into it.
Let's jump in.
My biggest takeaway from Monday
Yeah.
was that whole glassy state
Oh, right.
that trees can go into in winter.
Right.
I mean, I knew trees had ways to deal with the cold,
Sure.
but this was next level.
It really was eye-opening.
For sure.
That research from Purdue showed that even in dormancy,
Right.
trees are still doing all these complex biological things.
Yeah.
And they have those three key mechanisms:
Mm-hmm.
changing cell membranes,
Right.
producing natural antifreeze.
Like we put in our cars.
Well, sorta.
Okay.
And of course, that glassy state.
But what does that actually even mean? Like, how does that help a tree?
Think about it like this. As arborists, we're always dealing with harsh winter conditions.
That's true.
Knowing about the glassy state helps us to understand
Understand what?
why some species are tougher in the cold.
Okay.
And then we know what to plant,
Right.
especially in areas where it gets really cold.
You wouldn't want to plant something that can't take the cold.
Exactly.
I hadn't even thought about it like that.
It's one thing to know the science
Yeah.
and another to use it out in the field.
Totally.
It also shows why winter care is so important.
Like what?
Mulching,
Okay.
watering.
Even in winter.
Even in winter.
Seems counterintuitive,
It does.
but it can really help with those freezing temps.
Makes a huge difference.
So we've got to think about species selection
Yes.
and winter care.
Uh-huh.
Anything else we should remember?
Well, even though trees look dormant in winter,
Right.
they can still get damaged.
Oh, yeah.
We need to know those early signs of stress.
Like what?
Frost cracks,
Okay.
changes in the bark,
In the color.
or the texture.
Got it. If we catch these problems early,
Right.
they don't become huge problems later.
Good point.
Got to be proactive even in winter.
Yeah, makes sense.
Definitely.
Speaking of winter,
Yeah.
what about Christmas trees? Talking Trees had a whole episode about them.
Tuesday's episode was like a history lesson.
It was.
I knew evergreens were important for winter celebrations, but I didn't know it went all the way back to ancient Egypt and Rome.
Really?
It blew me away.
It seems like evergreens have always been a symbol of hope,
Yeah.
especially when it's dark in winter. It's ingrained in us.
I was surprised too.
Me too.
It makes sense, but I'd never really thought about it like that.
Yeah.
How those traditions are connected to the Christmas trees we have today.
It's fascinating.
And then Talking Trees talked about how Christmas trees came to America.
Right.
Something about Queen Victoria
Oh, yeah.
and Prince Albert.
They had a Christmas tree.
And everyone in America wanted one too.
That's pretty much how it happened.
Wow, the power of a picture.
Powerful stuff.
It's funny how trends change.
They do.
Even holiday traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and didn't Talking Trees talk about another tradition too?
Yeah, what was it?
Something about a log?
Well, the Yule log.
That's it.
They used to burn a big log during the solstice.
Oh, wow.
Way before Christianity.
Really?
It was all about the sun coming back.
Longer days.
Exactly.
Some traditions really stick around,
They do.
and they change over time.
Yeah, they take on new meanings.
Wednesday's episode was about the Christmas tree industry.
Oh, yeah.
That one really surprised me.
What surprised you?
I had no idea
What?
that there were complex economic models
Oh, right.
to track Christmas tree trends.
It's a big business.
Bigger than I thought.
You got plantations in North America,
Yeah.
Europe,
Uh-huh.
and then the artificial trees made in China.
And Poland.
And it's a global market.
It's crazy.
And those economic models help us to understand how it all works.
Like what kinds of things?
Market prices,
Okay.
how much demand there is for trees, and how much money the growers are making.
You know, it's funny. We think of Christmas trees as a local thing.
Yeah, you get them from a local farm.
Right.
but it's really global.
Like Talking Trees said.
That's right.
It's not just about where the trees are grown either.
Nope.
What else is there?
It matters what people want.
Oh, consumer preference.
Exactly.
So like some people want a real tree
Mm-hmm.
and some want an artificial one.
And some want a certain kind of tree.
Yeah, and some people will spend more than others.
All of that goes into it.
So it's culture
Yeah.
and economics
Uh-huh.
and trees.
All mixed together?
That's what Talking Trees does so well.
I agree.
They bring it all together.
They really do.
But Thursday's episode,
Yeah.
that one was deep.
What was it about?
Trees in religion and mythology.
Oh, right.
It was a lot, even for Talking Trees.
It was deep.
It's amazing how many times trees show up.
In sacred texts.
Yep.
And that tree of life is a powerful symbol.
It really is.
Whether it's the Bodhi tree,
In Buddhism,
right, or the tree of knowledge,
in Christianity,
in Judaism,
or even that zakum tree.
from Islam.
It seems like trees mean something important to all of us.
I think you're right.
Like they're these symbols
Yeah.
that connect us to something bigger.
It could be religion.
For nature,
or just life in general.
what stood out to you?
Well, for me, it was how many different ways people see trees.
What do you mean?
They can be life and death,
Uh-huh.
wisdom,
Okay.
even suffering, all of that.
The simple tree.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is.
But it reminds us that trees are connected to our culture
Absolutely.
and our spirituality.
For sure.
So we've gone from winter science
Yeah.
to Christmas trees
Uh-huh.
and then to religion and mythology.
It's been a wild ride.
Ready for some history?
Always.
Friday's episode was all about John Davey.
The founder of the Davey Tree Expert Company.
That's right.
A true pioneer. He changed the way we care for trees in America.
And it all started when he came here from England.
It's a pretty inspiring story.
It is.
He was dedicated to doing things right.
Do it right or not at all.
That was his motto.
He really cared about trees.
His company is still going strong.
It really is a lasting legacy.
For sure.
And his principles are something we can all learn from.
Absolutely. It's really interesting how Talking Trees had this theme.
This week,
Yeah, this week.
I didn't really notice it.
Did you not?
Not until you said something.
It was subtle,
It
but it was there.
So what was it?
Interconnectedness.
Mm-hmm.
It was everywhere.
Like where?
How trees adapt, their role in culture and religion,
Mm-hmm.
the global economy,
Right.
even our work as arborists.
It's all connected.
It is.
Like Talking Trees is reminding us
What?
that what we do matters.
It really does.
That it affects everything else.
Like that episode about winter survival. It showed how climate change is affecting trees.
The extreme temperatures.
Yeah, and the crazy weather patterns.
It messes with the tree's balance.
It makes them vulnerable.
So we've got to help them adapt.
It's our job as arborists.
How do we do that?
Careful species selection,
Right.
proactive care,
Uh-huh.
and we've got to fight for policies that protect trees.
Especially in cities.
Absolutely.
I liked that episode about the history of the Christmas tree.
Me too.
It reminded us how connected we are to nature.
It goes way back.
Centuries.
At least.
It made me think about sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
We love Christmas trees,
Everyone does.
but we don't want to harm the environment.
Right. We don't want to cut down too many trees.
So what do we do?
Well, we need to make sure people know where their trees come from.
So they can make informed choices.
Exactly.
Like maybe they could get a tree from a local farm,
That's a good option
or even get a living tree.
that you can plant afterwards.
What about artificial trees?
Those are okay too.
If they're good quality.
And you can use them for years.
It's all about balance.
Finding that balance between tradition and sustainability.
And speaking of balance,
Yeah.
that episode about the Christmas tree industry,
Oh, wow.
it's a huge business.
It really is.
Global.
Growers and retailers and consumers.
And international trade.
It's a lot to keep track of.
That's where those economic models come in.
They help us to understand the big picture
So we can advocate for fair prices
for the growers.
and promote sustainable practices.
All connected.
This week's episodes were like layers. We kept peeling them back.
And what did we find?
This bigger picture.
Interconnectedness?
Even the episode about trees in religion and mythology.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't seem like it would fit.
But it did.
That tree of life.
It's more than just a symbol.
What is it then?
It's a reminder
Of what?
that we're all connected
to each other.
to nature
To everything.
and that our actions have
Yep.
consequences.
We have to take care of the environment.
We do.
And that's what John Davey was all about.
The guy from Friday's episode.
Yeah, he was all about doing things right
For trees.
for the environment.
Do it right or not at all.
That's a great motto.
He was ahead of his time.
He really was.
He left a legacy for us.
A responsibility.
To keep his work going.
To protect trees.
To make sure they're here for future generations.
It's been a really good discussion.
Talking trees always gives us a lot to think about.
I agree.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
For our deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Keep learning.
Keep those trees thriving.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this recap episode of Talking Trees. We hope you enjoyed exploring these diverse topics that connect science, culture, and the stories of trees and plants in our world. Your engagement and support means so much to us. For full episodes and additional resources, visit us at herohero.co/talkingtrees. Keep celebrating the incredible world of trees, and we'll see you next time.